Hey everybody, this is Kate. I'm filling in for James on the website, just trying to help him out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and go over some of the things that have to do with men getting yeast infections. And of course, the website is www.canmengetyeastinfections.org, so you can check out a little bit more of the information that we have on there. So we're going to go ahead and get started with how can men get yeast infections, and there are 4 different ways that they can actually get them. The first one is antibiotics. Some antibiotics do cause yeast infections, and it kind of varies on the antibiotic that you're taking, so it's really kind of hard to determine which one it is. But if you take antibiotics for a long period of time, you're more likely to develop the yeast infection than if you just took it for a short period of time. The next one is diabetes. This one, again, kind of varies, but anyone who has diabetes actually is going to notice, basically a higher risk of developing any type of infection. So, of course, a yeast infection is going to be one of those. Nonoxynol 9. Now, for those of you that may not know, it's actually an ingredient that's in the lubricant of condoms. So typically, obviously, it's going to be on the outside of the condom. So for men that are wearing the condoms, typically aren't going to get it from that. However, if they have sex with a female, the female could get it from that. Or if it's a gay man and they're having anal sex, then the person on the receiving end could get it because they would be receiving the lubricant basically on their end of it. So the nonoxynol 9 would be something that could cause that. If you're noticing any type of symptoms with that, you'll just want to check the ingredient list on the condom box. And if nonoxynol 9 is included in that, then you'll just want to switch out to a different type of condom. The last one that we want to talk about, of course, is the, most obvious one is sexual transmission. Now, this one's something to think about because whether you're a straight man or a gay man or whatever, you can transmit yeast infections back and forth. Now, let's say your girlfriend has a yeast infection and doesn't quite know it, and you have intercourse without a condom. Well, you could potentially get the yeast infection as well. And obviously then if she gets treated and you're still having sex, you could possibly, transmit it back and forth. So it is a good idea to kind of abstain from sex until you actually have that completely cleared up. Otherwise, you're just going to be constantly giving it back and forth. And that's, of course, never good. One thing I do want to point out with the sexual transmission on that, this can vary on guys. It can be something as far as just on the skin. It can be on the outside of the penis where you'll see a little bit of yeast infection, or it can actually go up the urethra into your prostate, which can actually later in life cause prostate issues. So that's definitely something that's really important to kind of keep an eye on. So that's it on the how men can get yeast infections, and we're actually going to go over to symptoms. We're just actually going to cover some of the more physical type of symptoms. There are many, many more symptoms that you can actually get, which again, you can check out our website for that, which I'll put up at the end of the slideshow again. Some of the symptoms a male can notice when they have a yeast infection is one of the most common, believe it or not, is no symptoms at all. A lot of men don't show a lot of symptoms when they have a yeast infection. So, it is a good idea if your girlfriend has a yeast infection or something along those lines, you may just want to get it checked out just to make sure you don't have one. It's not going to cause problems in the future. Now, if you do have symptoms, you could have burning, itching, or a rash around the head of the penis. You could also experience burning during urination. Discharge is possible sometimes, but it's not typical. So don't really look for that if you think you might have one, because it may not be a telltale sign, because usually that's when they get really, really bad. Another one would be like flaking of the skin on the penis, and that's again if you have the more external type, not if it actually goes up the urethra. So, you know, any of these symptoms could possibly be something pertaining to having a yeast infection. So if you have any, you definitely want to get it checked out. Again, as I said, these are just the physical symptoms in men. There are many more possible symptoms that can actually go more internal and things like that. So if you have any other questions, you may want to check it out at James's website at www.canmengetyeastinfections.org. And we'll see you next time. Thanks.